What would you say if a cop walked up to your window right now and said, "We got a call about you"? If you answer too fast, you can hand them the whole case before they prove anything. One nervous sentence from you can turn a weak stop into a strong arrest. Before I reveal the exact words, hit subscribe and like this video so you can find it again when your brain freezes during a real stop. Do that now, because what you're about to hear could save your freedom, your money, and your record. When an officer says, "We got a call," your brain wants to explain everything. You want to say you didn't do anything. You want to ask who called. You want to prove you're normal. That is exactly how you lose control of the stop. In this video, you're going to learn the one sentence you say before answering anything, the follow-up line that shuts down phishing questions, the search refusal that protects your car, and the calm move that stops you from making it worse. Let me show you exactly how to handle this without sounding rude, scared, or guilty. You do not need a speech. You do not need fake confidence. You need short lines you can actually remember under pressure. Here's why this matters so much for you. "We got a call" sounds powerful, but it is also vague on purpose. The officer may have a real 9/11 report. The officer may have a weak tip. The officer may just be testing whether you panic and talk. Most people have no idea how much damage they do in the first 10 seconds. They start filling the silence. They start guessing what the police know. They start trying to look innocent instead of staying protected. Here's the reality. A call is not the same as proof. A call is not the same as a conviction, and a call does not mean you should start explaining your whole life through a half-open window. The first thing you say when you hear "we got a call" is not a denial. It is not a confession. It is not a joke. You look at the officer and say this: "Officer, am I being detained, and what crime are you investigating?" Those exact words. Keep them slow. Keep them clean. That line is smart because it does two things for you at the same time. First, it forces the officer to tell you whether this is a real detention or just pressure talk. Second, it makes the officer name the issue instead of letting the words "we got a call" float in the air like magic. Why does that matter to you? Because vague police language makes normal people panic, and panic makes you speak. Once you start speaking, you start giving away things the officer did not have 5 seconds earlier. You may admit where you were. You may admit who you were with. You may admit there was an argument. You may admit you were at a place tied to the complaint. Even if you did nothing illegal, you can still give them details to twist later. When you ask whether you are being detained and what crime is being investigated, you stop guessing and force clarity. This comes straight from Supreme Court rulings. In Terry v. Ohio, the court said police need reasonable suspicion for a brief detention. In plain English, that means they need specific facts that suggest crime may be happening. Not just a vibe, not just a hunch. In United States v. Mendenhall, the court said the key question is whether a reasonable person would feel free to leave. In plain English, if a normal person in your shoes would think, "I can't just go," then the law may treat that like a detention. That matters for you because "we got a call" is often used to make you feel trapped before the officer says anything clear. Bad way. Most drivers say, "A call about what? I didn't do anything wrong." Then they start explaining and hand over facts the officer did not have. Good way. Smart drivers say, "Officer, am I being detained, and what crime are you investigating?" Then the officer has to get specific before you give up anything. Watch what happens when you use that line. The whole stop changes. You stop sounding scared. You stop sounding chatty. You sound clear. You sound focused. You sound like someone who understands the game. I've analyzed over 200 body cam videos, and one pattern keeps showing up. The drivers who talk first lose first. The drivers who force the officer to define the stop keep far more control. Listen closely, because this is critical. Your goal is not to win an argument on the roadside. Your goal is to stop yourself from becoming the officer's best witness. Have you ever been hit with a vague line like this during a stop? Drop a comment below. Now let's talk about what happens next for you. Once the officer names the complaint, the pressure usually shifts fast. You'll hear something like, "So where are you coming from?" Or "Why did somebody call on you?" Or "If you didn't do anything, just tell me what happened." That is the trap. They make it sound like explaining will help you. It usually does the opposite. Here's exactly what you say. "Officer, I choose not to answer questions." Word for word. If they keep pushing, repeat it. That is all you need. You do not owe a roadside story just because an officer says there was a call. If the call is strong, your talking will not erase it. If the call is weak, your talking can accidentally fix it for them. That is why silence protects you. You are not being rude. You are not picking a fight. You are refusing to help build a case out of your own mouth. Defense attorneys use this exact line in court because statements are hard to take back once they land on body cam. A lot of people think silence makes you look guilty. That fear destroys them. They start saying things like, "I was there but only for a second," or "Yeah, we argued but it wasn't serious," or "I did leave fast but not because of that." Every one of those lines can become a brick in the wall against you. Here's the reality. Innocent people talk themselves into trouble every day because they think truth plus nerves equals safety. It does not. Truth told badly, fast, and under pressure can sound like guilt. Bad way. Most drivers say, I can explain everything, then they fill in the gaps for the officer and create more suspicion. Good way. Smart drivers say, officer, I choose not to answer questions. Then the officer has to rely on what they actually know, not what you donate. There is also a second reason this works for you. It slows the encounter down. Officers often count on speed. Fast questions, fast answers, fast mistakes. When you use one clean sentence and stop, you break that rhythm. You make them do the work. Former police officers have confirmed this works because many roadside interviews are really about getting you to talk yourself into a searchable, arrestable, or chargeable position. Watch what happens when a driver stays calm and says less. The officer has fewer openings, the conversation gets shorter, the guessing stops, the damage drops. This is 100% legal. You are allowed to protect your mouth from becoming evidence. And if you are later arrested, your lawyer would much rather work with silence than with 6 minutes of nervous talking you wish you could erase. The next move you need is for the moment the officer tries to widen the stop. This is where we got a call turns into, mind if I check your car? Or do you have anything illegal in there? Or open the trunk for me real quick. Here's exactly what you say. Officer, I do not consent to any searches. Those exact words. Say them once, say them clearly. If they ask again, repeat the same line and nothing else. Here's the trick they don't want you knowing. Many searches happen because drivers say yes before the officer ever proves a right to search. They think refusal will make them look bad, so they try to look cooperative. Then everything inside the car becomes fair game under that consent. That is a terrible trade for you. If police already have a legal reason to search, they will do it. But if they do not, your consent can give them the opening they were missing. Legal experts agree this is your strongest protection when a stop starts drifting from a complaint into a fishing trip, and the law backs that up. In Schneckloth v. Bustamonte, the Supreme Court said consent searches can be valid if your consent was voluntary. In plain English, if you say yes on your own, that yes can count even if you did not know you could refuse. That is exactly why your no matters so much. In Florida v. Jimeno, the court said that if you give general consent to search a car, that can include containers inside the car if it makes sense for what the officer is looking for. In plain English, one casual yes can become a much bigger yes than you meant. Bad way. Most drivers say, sure, I've got nothing to hide. Then the officer searches the car and starts opening places your words just covered. Good way. Smart drivers say, officer, I do not consent to any searches. Then you keep your rights in place even if the officer searches anyway. You need to understand one thing clearly for your own protection. Refusing consent does not guarantee the search stops. If the officer claims another legal reason, the search may still happen. But your refusal still matters. It shows you did not volunteer. It preserves the issue for your defense later. It stops your own words from helping the officer justify the search. This is 100% legal. You never have to make a search easier just because the officer said there was a call. Still watching? Good. Drop a like if this is already changing how you'd handle a stop. Now let's hit the fourth move for you because this is where people ruin a good defense after doing the first three things right. If the officer tells you to step out, move your hands, or stand in a certain place, do not turn that moment into a power struggle. You say this, I will comply with lawful orders, but I do not consent to any searches or questioning. Memorize that line. It keeps you safe and protected at the same time. This matters because a lot of drivers think they must choose between two bad options, either argue with every order or surrender every right. You do not have to do either. You can comply with lawful safety orders and still refuse consent and questions. That balance is powerful for you. It shows calm, it shows control, it shows that you know the stop has limits. If the officer is dealing with a traffic stop, Pennsylvania v. Mimms says the driver can be ordered out of the car during a lawful stop. In plain English, you usually should not fight that order on the roadside, step out if told. But stepping out is not the same as agreeing to a search. Stepping out is not the same as agreeing to an interview. Bad way. Most drivers say, I'm not getting out unless you arrest me. Then the stop gets tense fast and your risk goes way up. Good way. Smart drivers say, I will comply with lawful orders, but I do not consent to any searches or questioning. Then you obey without giving away more. That sentence is strong because it keeps your behavior separate from your rights. Your body complies, your mouth protects you. If the officer is professional, the stop stays cleaner. If the officer is fishing, your line blocks easy shortcuts. Most people already clicked away. If you're still here, you're in the top 10%. Drop a comment saying, I'm still here. Now put the legal picture together for yourself. Terry v. Ohio says police need specific facts to briefly detain and frisk you. That means a real reason, not just a feeling. Florida v. JL said an anonymous tip by itself was not enough there to justify a stop and frisk. In plain English, a random call does not automatically prove crime. The court said the tip has to be reliable about illegal activity, not just about who you are. But Navarette v. California also matters for you. There, the court said a 911 call can support a traffic stop when it looks reliable, like when the caller reports a specific dangerous event and seems to have seen it happen. In plain English, some calls are weak and some calls are strong. The magic words, "we got a call," do not answer that for you. That is why your first line matters so much. You force the officer to get specific. Then your silence and your refusal stop you from fixing weak facts with your own mouth. Let me show you exactly how this plays out in a real stop for you. You get pulled over at night. The officer walks up and says, "We got a call that your car was involved in a disturbance a few blocks back." Your heart jumps. You know you were nearby. You also know that talking fast will feel natural. The wrong move is easy to picture. You say, "What? No, I was just at my friend's place. We argued a little, but that was it." Who called? Now, the officer has location, timing, a dispute, and your own statement that there was an argument. You just turned a vague complaint into a cleaner story for them. Now watch the smart version for yourself. The officer says, "We got a call." You stay calm. You say, "Officer, am I being detained, and what crime are you investigating?" The officer says, "We're looking into a disturbance call." Then comes the fishing question. "So what happened back there?" You say, "Officer, I choose not to answer questions." The officer asks to search the car. You say, "Officer, I do not consent to any searches." The officer tells you to step out. You say, "I will comply with lawful orders, but I do not consent to any searches or questioning." That whole chain protects you because every line has one job: clarity, silence, no consent, calm compliance. The outcome difference is huge for you. In the bad version, your words build the stop. In the smart version, the officer has to stand on the call, their observations, and actual evidence. That is where you want the weight to stay. If they have enough, your talking was never going to save you. If they do not have enough, your talking may be the thing that rescues their case. That is why the smart script works. It does not sound dramatic. It sounds disciplined. Next week, I'm revealing what to say when cops ask, "Mind if I search your phone?" Subscribe right now so you don't miss it, because that one mistake can expose your whole life in minutes. Lock this in for yourself right now. When you hear, "We got a call," do not explain. Ask, "Officer, am I being detained, and what crime are you investigating?" If questions keep coming, say, "Officer, I choose not to answer questions." If a search comes up, say, "Officer, I do not consent to any searches." If they give you lawful orders, comply calmly while refusing consent and questioning. You do not need perfect words. You need simple words you can still remember when your hands shake and your heart races. Hit subscribe so you catch that phone search video next week. Smash like if this just gave you a script you can actually use, and drop a comment telling me which exact line you're going to memorize first. Stay safe out there.